Hello, everyone. This is Joe Beeler, Technical Director of Eugene Timbers Football Club. This is a short presentation to help orientate all of our members to our organization, our mission, our philosophies, and the different programs available for each player. We ask that you take the time to review this presentation, and if at the end you have any questions, please reach out to your head coach or any of our staff members who will be happy to answer your questions. We want to thank you for bringing your child to Eugene Timbers Football Club as we look forward to helping them enjoy the game in this competitive environment. Eugene Timbers was established in 2006 with 3 teams. Since that time, we've grown to having 2 teams in each gender in the competitive age groups of U11 through U19. We've also added a junior academy, which is ages U9 and U10. And below that, a Little Timbers recreational program for ages 5 through 9. We have a women's semi-pro team, a women's select team that feeds into the women's semi-pro team, a boys USL academy team that feeds into Lane United's USL team. We have educated, experienced, and motivated coaching staff. All of our head coaches are licensed through USSF. Our teams compete at the top level of the Timbers and Thorns Leagues, the Girls Academy League, National League of the Northwest Conference, and various showcase events. Our teams are competitive with top clubs in Oregon and Washington. Eugene Timbers is made up of a board of directors, a director of coaching, technical director, along with accounting, administrative, club registrar, various directors of our different programs, as well as our staff coaches. We also rely on parent volunteer team managers to help us operate and administer each team, and parent volunteers to help us with different events throughout the year. Our mission is to encourage and motivate special needs, recreational, and competitive players in our community to advance their individual and team skills by providing quality training, committed teams, and skilled coaching. Eugene Timbers programs are designed to serve the diverse cultures and income levels of our community. We value grit, commitment, excellence, work ethic, community, respect, leadership, a desire to learn, and a desire to improve. Player and team development is our focus. Our coaches are educated and licensed. The club supports our coaches through financial assistance to further their licensing and education. And quarterly, coaches at ETFC meet for coaching education sessions. We use an age-appropriate curriculum developed by Eugene Timbers coaches and staff, using the USSF soccer curriculum as a guideline. Our teams and players train 2 to 4 times per week and average around 25 to 35 games per year. We use a curriculum-based periodic training plan for our junior academy, U11 through U14 teams. Our coaches collaborate across player pools and age groups through the use of peer and team review meetings 3 times per year, ongoing player development tracking and feedback, and coaches work together across the entire age group and pool and genders to provide extra training opportunities for our ambitious players. This, combined with a positive parent support, aids in the development of our players at Eugene Timbers. All of our teams at Eugene Timbers are working under the same philosophies, style of play, and methodologies. Our focus is on a possession-based attacking style of soccer with quick responses in transition. We use competitive and fast-paced games and training as teaching tools and to foster motivation and fun. We motivate, encourage, and maximize learning through age-appropriate challenges in positive game and training environments. We encourage and provide opportunities for players to play in an unstructured environment to foster problem-solving and creativity. We value growth by working outside of a player's comfort zone. Players join our club from the greater Eugene and Springfield area, but also as far away as Corvallis, Albany, and Roseburg. Once entering our club, players have multiple pathways for development. Players can move from the Little Timbers program into the junior academy at the youngest ages, and then on to the U11 through 14 Discovery, Competitive, or Premier academies. Once into the Premier academies or Competitive academies, players have the ability to move through, up and down the developmental pathways based on their developmental needs. As players develop into the older ages, our more ambitious players have the opportunity to train with the ETFC Azul Select Academy on the girls' side, which feeds into our ETFC Azul Semi-Pro women's team. On the boys' side, our more ambitious players have the opportunity to feed into our Lane United ETFC Select Academy, which also feeds into the Lane United first team. While we do our best to reduce the fees of playing competitive youth soccer, there are certain costs associated with operating a team and a club. Across the various pathways, the fees are adjusted based on the needs of each program. To the right, you'll see a table here that shows the additional costs associated and paid for by player fees. Additionally, it's good to note that our coaches, besides being on the training ground and at games with our players, spend much time outside of training and games in communication through emails, phone calls, and texts with players, parents, coaches, directors, session planning, player development planning, coaches education meetings, peer review meetings, and general coaching staff meetings. Fees do not cover player uniforms, additional tournaments such as summer tournaments, showcase tournaments, or national leagues, or any supplemental programs such as camps and clinics. It's important to note that fees do not pay for game time. Game time is still earned. At ETFC, we recognize the financial challenges for competitive youth soccer players. We provide annually about $50,000 a year in scholarships. We also offer support for the uniform cost, and additionally, we offer a fee reduction program for all families. At ETFC, we're fortunate enough to have an exclusive long-term contract with Lane Community College for the use of their facilities, where we have 2 turf fields and 1 grass field. We also have a good working relationship with Bob Kiefer Sports Park in Springfield and Civic Park in Eugene. Additional services that we provide for our players, specifically for U15 through 19, is video analysis and also the College Fit Finder app, which helps a player identify colleges based on geographic, financial, academic, and soccer programs. For our goalkeepers in the club, we have a specific goalkeeping curriculum with extra training sessions specifically for the goalkeepers. Our coaches are all certified in safe sport, concussion training, and USSF licensed. Eugene Timbers players are expected to arrive on time and attend all practices and games. They're expected to respect teammates, coaches, and referees, communicate with coaches and teammates, adapt to challenges, arrive with the intent to focus, learn, and have a positive impact, be prepared with proper gear, equipment, and hydration, and take responsibility for their own development. Parents and guardians are a key component in the enjoyment and development of young players. In seeking to create an environment that is supportive and healthy for the development and enjoyment of the game, we require that parents do not coach from the sidelines during games, nor do they talk to or comment to referees. We ask that parents praise effort and not result. And when they have questions, we ask that they seek to understand by communicating with the head.
Open your eyes! My woman can referee his campaign!
Listen to this muppet. Every week he does this, screaming and shouting at the ref.
Ref! That's a yellow card, ref! Card him! Yellow card him, ref! Tom! How are these kids supposed to learn the game if you don't know the game? He's an animal. Give him a
Look
yellow
in the ref,
card.
but he gives up his Saturday mornings to do this. Now, was it the right decision? It might have been, it might not have been, who knows? We all make mistakes.
You mug!
Would you take this at work? Nah.
Okay, thank you.
No, don't thank me, thank you!
Just clear the
You're a
playing area,
clown.
please.
You ain't got a clue! Clown!
You see, Dad's trying to live out his own dreams through his son.
Daddy, what's the matter with you? That's a suicidal boy!
Now, how's he supposed to learn
Rosie!
if he can't make his own mistakes?
Referee, you're not watching the game, mate. You're watching me. You ain't gonna see nothing here.
It's no wonder we're losing so many refs when they're having to put up with people like Jack the Biscuit here every week.
Come on, Stevie. You're running about like a chicken with no head. Liven it up.
And it's no wonder thousands of kids give up the game either. We carry on like this, we won't have a game left.
Ref!
Ref? Some of us need to take a long, hard look at ourselves.
When asking youth what they do want before the competition begins, rather what they don't, they say comments that are specifically focused on my performance or communicating high expectations that I win. Further, when giving tactical advice that's outside your knowledge tree, imagine in the first few years when you're that informational support system to your brand new soccer, baseball, swimmer, tennis player, they get it. But when they've played for 10 years and you never played ever, they know that their knowledge base extends out beyond your own. During games, we look at opportunities. Hey, don't draw undue attention to yourself during competition. And don't yell at your child, the coach, or even the opponents. See, because when you dispute officials, coaches, or parents, or repeat your instructions incessantly, it gets in your child's head. And they like what they're doing less because they're performing more poorly, and they become confused and overwhelmed. In family research, we call that flooding. And when your emotions are high, it's hard for anything else to perform well. Once the competition is over, be less or not at all critical about their performance. Have less of the blame be towards others, including the coaches or the referees. And finally, don't have everything be focused on what went wrong. Because at the end of the day, what can I do with what went wrong the next time I play? So that lends us to the last that I want to discuss with you today, and that is, what do youth tell us that they want? Before games, youth tell us to help them to be physically prepared. Mom and dad can provide a number of opportunities, including well-rounded meals, reminders to get adequate rest, be hydrated, and prepare yourself mentally for your next game or event. During that game, assume a posture and a tone of voice that are positive. Maintain control over your emotions. And while doing that, notice good performance and give encouragement for things that were expected to be good, but maybe ended up just a little bit short. Ultimately, when it's all said and done, give positive feedback. And have that feedback directed not just at outcome, but more specifically at effort and attitude. Make it realistic, and ultimately give that feedback when it can be well received. One of the things I remind you, and it dovetails to things we talked about just a little while ago, and that is when emotions are high, which following a game, good or bad, emotions are normally high. Information is not well received because it cannot be processed. When you take the recommendation that Keith gave to all of us tonight and take opportunities to check in frequently with your child, with your youth, it gives also opportunities for you to give that positive and realistic feedback. And in so doing, you increase both their enjoyment of what they're doing and their opportunities to learn and grow because they've had you there supporting in that chosen activity.